your reasoning behind these two players and their picks. Let's have a quick chat about our map bans. Again, 7 maps in total, 6 are out, 1 is left. Playing Oregon.
No, I
Jess,
can't. You know,
go.
not because it's Oregon. Not because
go
it's
ahead.
Oregon.
No.
Go
But
ahead.
it's because Xavier lost 7-2, absolutely blasted across the ground, wiped them like toilet paper. 7-2 last play day. Xavier comes into this with Scarz. Nah.
Jess, just as a quick
What?
shout.
Go ahead.
These two teams have had 6 games, right, between them. 5 of those have been on Oregon. Like, the
I'm
only
done.
time it hasn't been played was day 1. Scarz played Fav on Villa. Otherwise, it has all been on Oregon.
And what's the
I have
tally?
a passport here. I'm ready to fly out. I'm done with this.
Does it like, what is this? Xavier have won it once. Scarz have won it once. So, okay, but like, they've got all this dirt on each other. They can go and see what's happened in all the last few playdays and know what did they do on Oregon. How can we beat it? And I don't know, man. There's a point where running your head into a brick wall kind of stops being productive for you and starts actually killing you. So I think there's a time to stop. I don't know what Xavier's doing by going to it for a 4th time in a row. This is really confusing.
I don't know either.
I think they're stuck on platform 10 and they're not moving to 9 3/4 behind them, just smacked into the brick wall all day, every day. We'll see how that goes. Both teams have had similar recent bad results, really, but we have completely different expectations in general of those two. Let's see how it goes in game. Scarz versus Xavier, and it's on Oregon. Geo, Dev, please take it away.
Dev, you've got these two teams who've been playing a lot of Oregon recently. It turns it into a bit of an Omega Oregon, which could be a bit of a mess.
I like it. I want to see some Omega Lolorigans on the chat.
Yeah, we have BTT
Wow, look at
now
that.
in the stream. Do we have Omega Lol in there?
Please tell me we do. I would love that. Omega Lolorigan here between Scarz and Xavier. Look at that. 81% of you reckon the tie will take the map. But look, it's been a struggle for them. They've played it 3 times this stage. They only won it that first time against Electrify, no less. Not the strongest team, sitting, well, very near the bottom. But it's actually Scarz who is dead last in APAC North League at the moment, in danger of relegation. And my concern is, even if they do drop down into relegations, it might be a struggle to get back up again. We've seen within the Korean region, there's a bit more competitiveness. Team GC Busan, I've talked about quite a bit. They've got some former C9 players. They've been doing really well. So if I'm Scarz, definitely want to get out of those relegation spots.
You said that 81% think the tie will take the map, and I was thinking you can't tie in APAC. And then I...
Well, that's a good one, Gio. I'm going to write that down so that if I need a chuckle later, I can just read that piece of paper.
It is my
you're gonna
job
give
here
me
to
the
be
giggles.
really funny. I aim to please. Anyway,
well,
operator bans.
It's always a pleasure casting with you, Gio.
Thanks,
Always
I
a
try.
pleasure.
I try. Operator bans are starting anyway. We've got Capitan Thatcher to kick things off.
So funny enough, last time these guys played was actually on Oregon. Way back. Way back when? Wait, no, it wasn't. Never mind. I'm talking about Scarz versus Talon, which was very recent, and they won that. And we started that match thinking, look, Scarz not looking too hot on their attacks. But after they warmed up, it was really the Scarz show. We are going to finish the bans and then go for a cheeky rehost. But that's all, G. Let's touch on the bans, as you said. Thatcher means we're probably going to see a lot of Maverick, maybe a bit of Carly, but I think the Maverick tends to be the better play. He's got the nades as well, so you can clear util. And Wamai taking out, what is that Goyo? So if we want to bring shield, it's probably going to be your smoke. We occasionally see Ella creep in there, but hey, I think this ban phase does allow for some wall denial play, since the Thatcher's been banned, but it also enables some counters so that wall denial is a bit comfy, because you've still got the Maverick in there. It also means that we're not going to be able to lean really heavily into the shield meta and protecting the shields, because Wamai's gone, Goya's gone. So overall, I reckon it's actually a pretty attacker-sided ban phase.
Could be, and it is, of course, APAC, so you never know how things are going to just go kind of weird when it comes to those kinds of advantages. I'm just trying to have a look at the games that these two teams have played together, or not necessarily together, have played recently on this map, just to see how it fares to their operator bans, but I'm sure you already have it all in front of you.
I do to you. Thatcher and Wamai was actually both of these teams' go-to last time they played it earlier this week, because both of these guys played it on Tuesday. Yeah, so both of those have been taken out. In this case, it was Scarz. It actually kind of went 50-50, right? Scarz got rid of the Thatcher, Xavier got rid of the Wamai. Looking deeper into it, Xavier, Capital is also a really common ban for them. They did it against Fav and Electrify on this map. Also against Giants and Fav and way back, like, ugh, they just do that all the time. So pretty common for Xavier getting rid of the Capital. I think it was Scarz we saw. It was actually a team earlier today was running Capital Hard Breach on this map. It was Talon, I'm gonna say. I think it was Talon. I can't even remember, but that ain't happening. So you're really gonna have to lean into your Maverick, your Ace. Probably gonna see those every round for the Hard Breach. And yeah, like I was saying, you're not gonna be able to lean into the shield meta on defense either, on account of that Wamai and Goyo being banned. So it's gonna be pretty hard to defend those shields. Well, once those ADSs are burned, it's basically free for the attackers.
We've seen Ying Hard Breach on this map.
Ah, yes, we have. And, well, we still got Jaeger in there, so it's not like Ying is uncounterable. And we've seen teams tease out the Warden. It was just earlier tonight. We had a team do that on this very map. So, yeah, Ying could be nice. It was explosive. It was the Electrify match, actually. We saw a whole bunch of Ying come in. But, hey, there's a lot of flexibility here, a lot of options for both of these teams. Like the guys on the analyst desk were saying, Oregon has kind of been done to death by both of these teams, right? If I look back, I've got a total of 6 plays from each team, none of which were against each other. Funnily enough, actually, yep, 6 plays. Funnily enough, Xavier actually have the better split. They're 3-3, 3 wins, 3 losses, and Xavier 2 wins, 4 losses. One of those wins actually being really recently against Talon. So, I don't know. Like, you could stack up some results here and be like, well, they both 7-4 Talon on this map. Does that make it equivalent?
You also have to bear in mind the fact that when you look at those 3 losses that Xavier have experienced, they've been to Cloud9, Fav, and Giants, who are arguably the 3 strongest teams in this region right now. So
yeah,
you do have to match up those opponents to get an idea, because they've also beat Fav on this map as well. Again, one of the strongest teams in the region, then Electrify and Talon being the other 2. So even though it is a 3-3, you could argue actually the opponents to whom they lost were really difficult. So let's cut them some slack on it.
If we have a look at Xavier as a whole, not specific to Oregon, remember that Phase 1, so that's the first half of Stage 1, the first Swiss bracket we did, they really struggled. They only managed to cop 2 wins out of their first 5 games. And well, you're like, wow, Xavier underperforming. They ended up, I believe, 10th by the end of it. Scarz on the bottom, of course. And then remember the second phase, Stage 1, Xavier were just like, nah, it's time to full yeet, guys. They went flawless, took down Talon, Cyclops, Giants, and Fav, some of the best in the region, especially those latter 3. And suddenly our expectations of Xavier soared up into the sky, and something that Milosh was talking about on the desk. These 2 teams, they're sitting in a similar position right now. 2 losses, 1 win thus far in Stage 2. But we have very different expectations. Scarz, honestly, I think most people are expecting them to reside in the bottom spot. They're 12th place, and hence relegations here in APAC North League by the end of the year, by the end of the season. Whereas Xavier, they went flawless first place at the end of Stage 1. And with how they perform in general against Giants and some of these other top teams, I can totally see them keeping up a fight here.
They're really going to have to, because obviously Scarz, we've been talking a lot about the fact they've made these changes to their roster. They no longer have Revy standing in, and they have been seemingly doing better, but you have to remember that 2 of those teams they've been doing better against were Talon and Electrify. Was it Electrify who's the other one? Either way, it was Talon who they beat, and so far, Talon have not necessarily been doing the best. So there's still more data that we need to gather before we get a true idea of how well Scarz do, and this game will be really important in being able to get that information. Obviously, Scarz starting off now on the attack, sending in the Twitch drone, and that's going to help get rid of some of the utility that Xavier brought along.
If there's one thing we know for certain about Scarz, is this change in roster, bringing on Nosferatu and Coldbro. It's been a massive upgrade for them. They have just looked like a much stronger team. I feel like the games that Scarz won in Stage 1, they were close. They only barely won them, and they were really in situations where I don't think they should have. And now we're coming into it, and 11's been on fire. He actually opens up this round against Scatman, the Ella player. The Scarz overall have just looked like a much better team than we've seen in the previous.
They're going to have to remove their shield, and that's going to be Demic's job, I suspect, but there's an ADS nearby.
Oh, the drone's going to say bye-bye. F in chat for the drone. Feels bad, man.
Well, at least Monty can now move forward, but there is the Malusi Wub, which is, again, going to provide a hindrance to his efforts.
Really great progress thus far for Scarz. They've got just about everything they want. Good info as well. Onigiri, though, downstairs. He may be able to flank up White in the late round. Doesn't look like Scarz is intending to use the White stairs as an avenue. Red Sun, this round may well fall on his shoulders, and how much damage he can do here from inside attic when the eventual execute comes through.
I really like this from Onigiri, someone who's been highlighted a lot.
Oh, that's perfect.
And he's ready and waiting down in Classroom, as he knows that there may be players wanting to move in, but in the meantime, Nosferatu is going to take the opportunity to make the plug. Great shot there from Scarz. I was going to say from Canos, but they all started to pile in, and a flawless round to kick things off.
Yeah, that was most certainly flawless. Pick by pick, Scarz took what was theirs. It dealt with the utility on the site. Monty rolled up in. I didn't actually manage to see where that Hibana was getting the plant down, but it certainly wasn't by walking through the closet breach into games, because we saw Onigiri downstairs. He was that X-Factor trying to go for a flank, but instead of pushing up the armory stairs, which would likely have met his demise and eventually did in the post plant, he thought, no, I can just watch this rotation. Typically we see teams execute by chucking their player, sprinting through that breach, hiding next to the foosball table and getting that diffuser down. And Onigiri was poised to counter that. But Scarz, well, they subverted his expectation, planted elsewhere. I'll check on the VOD and have a look at where that was so I can tell you guys later into this game. But great start here for Scarz, a flawless round.
Well, now Xavier are going to head downstairs. They've decided they're not going to hang around back up in the same site. And they've made a 6-pick off. So they've got this double wall denial this time with the Mute and Kaid rather than the Ella, which is what Napier was hovering over beforehand. But it looks like Scarz are coming with something pretty much exactly the same as last time.
That's the thing on the attack, right? You can basically do a one-size-fits-all operator lineup, especially in your early rounds, because you don't know which bomb site you're going to be attacking. Now, I did manage to quickly check out the VOD, and what Nosferatu did last round, the Hibana, he actually walked just straight through that trophy door and planted directly behind the Montaigne. Really nice that, in particular, Scarz, because they hadn't dropped any players in the early round, they could dedicate the Monty to just being physical cover for that planter. I really like that. Now let's look at Xavier and what they've got for this defense. Operator lineup that has deviated quite significantly from what we saw previously. Red Sun flexed off of the Mute and given that to DCH so he can play this Valkyrie. Red Sun is a nuts player on the Valk. Definitely one to be feared. Still 2 black eyes in the pocket. Onigiri on a flank, well, in T3 at the moment. If he's not addressed, he could be a danger in the late round. Nice shield here at Pillar. But I'm definitely keen to see how Scarz do deal with this significant wall denial we have from Xavier, the Kaid and the Mute. In particular, Kaid on the meeting hatch we saw previously. Carly can't deal with that, but of course the Maverick can.
That roam in T3 is something that we saw Talon attempt earlier on just today, and it didn't work out in their favor. So obviously Xavier are going to be looking for different results in that. But it looks like Scarz are just going to go straight in for the meeting hatch, working with the Maverick, which means the Electric Claw down below isn't going to be too much of a hindrance for them.
Torch is ready. It's doing its job as well. Remember that once this hatch is open, it doesn't necessarily spell death for the player in Boiler. More specifically, just on the other side of that wall, I believe it's currently Red Sun. He hasn't been droned out. 11 doesn't want to lose his drone. Oh, a C4 poised and ready. As soon as that hatch is open, Napier will toss it up. He gets scared off, I think, from Coldbro actually pushing blue, so he doesn't manage to push that C4 up the hatch. And now Scarz keenly trying to flush out Red Sun from Boiler, who also falls off, but Onigiri still on the flank. T2 now. First blood is Red Sun, but Onigiri is on for a flank.
He's being very patient, not yet finding any of those members of Scarz. I think he actually may have just walked past one, but once again, oh, okay, he walked past him, but then he managed to catch him in the end, and now he's got the diffuser in his control. The onus is now on Scarz to come and recollect it. They have one of those players coming out of meeting, getting ready, but Onagir is going to be cleaned up, and that suddenly gives Scarz so much more room to play with. The breach charge onto the soft wall of Box. That'll give them a line of sight and also an opportunity to pass through into the side, as the Monty does get threatened there by the smoke, and he's going to have to back off. Scatman, he knows that 11 is not far away, just around the corner. He's peeking round into elbow as the smokes continue to come out, and Scatman, yes, he will win out that duel. Still with freezer control, Napier can hold this cross, but he's going to move on forward. There's the C4 to try and deny, but he kills one of his teammates, and Scarz, they continue to take out that round. That was an absolutely insane round. Just to let you know, everyone, I think Dev is, I think he's having some issues. I think he might have died. But we're just waiting to see if he's going to come back. But either way, there's a good start there from Scarz, as obviously very close to losing that last round when Napier rushed in forward from the freezer. He had to use his C4, and it was a good thing that he didn't end up using it earlier on in the early to mid game when the meeting hatch was opened. He had the opportunity to use that later on, but of course he only caught out one of his teammates as opposed to any of the enemies, and it was Demic, I believe, who cleaned things up at the end. Oh, welcome back!
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. My name's Dev Marta, and
did you catch that?
No, actually.
Oh, there was a
not.
cheeky team kill from Napier who had to kind of rush forward to get a C4 deny, and it didn't work. So.
Oh, well, isn't that cheeky? And
it was very
shame
cheeky.
it didn't work. So, well, by the end of it, Scarz off to a nice lead, ain't they? Let's have a look at. I'll bring up my my notes from their game against Talon. Just earlier this week on this map, they won it 4-7. Funnily enough, they actually started weak on their attack. They lost 3 in a row. They came back for 3 attacks in a row, made a full round of bomb sites, and then they polished things off on their defense, winning 4 out of 5 rounds. So, judging by that, this is a really good sign for Scarz right now. And I'm one of those people who was like, no, Xavier, they're like clearly the better team. Just put up more consistent results against the Giants, quite literally, of APAC North. And I would totally favor them here. They've had some decent results back and forth, and overall more positive results on Oregon than Scarz. And yet, Scarz have once again surprised me.
I like that this time Scarz, they decided to go in through T3, just in case anyone was up there this time, but of course there wasn't. In fact, Red Sun's going to be very close to the attic wall. Wow, Demic really nearly got caught out then, and he will take a hefty blow for his concerns.
This position in attic is absolutely disgusting. Honestly, I hate it. It is so defender favored. Standing on top right here, it is so hard to kill someone who's playing right here. Red Sun knows it. Even with a relatively low damage gun, he's done a heck of a lot to Demic, who is one of those key players. A flashbang goes through it behind Red Sun, not going to make a difference. A nade comes through, but he's protected by that beautiful little case. And still, Scarz failing to deal with him. Oh, he hits him in the leg again. Demic, gotta be thanking his lucky Scarz. Surely not. Red Sun, this is disgusting. Get out of the server right now. And Demic says, I'll finish him off. Don't you worry none. But the damage is done.
And there won't be much more damage done from Scarz, given that Canos was the one to be taken down, and no longer do you have the Ash. There's your entry player completely gone, deleted. Goodbye. So even though Red Sun eventually lost his life in that altercation, he still did his work. It also means that Demic has to be very careful now because he's lost so much health. And you can see 11 playing a bit more cautiously than we have seen him do so before.
I think part of that is because he's actually finding it harder to get info this time around. Scarz have doubled down. Not only have they got the mute, which doubles as wall denial and info denial, but they've got that Mozzie as well. I think that C4, while it did miss 2 players, it managed to get a drone, and that's even more intel damaged. Not sure how many drones 11 has left, but you'll notice Nosferatu has none. Colbro's still 2 in the pocket, but he's a Monty. He's very rarely droning counter. Still has 2 alive on flank watch. Gas goes out. Ooh. Blows it eventually. 11 though to take down Nate Pugh. Nice shot to the head. 20 seconds left, and this is where things explode for Scarz.
Oh, that was a really good kill there onto Scatman. Didn't even get the opportunity to explode the gas, and now time is ticking, and Nosferatu is going to be going in for the plant. Just Onagiri remains to try and prevent this from happening, and this could be another round for Scarz. He gets 1 kill, but he can't get the next. Scarz take round 3, and suddenly Xavier should be concerned. Or maybe they should have been concerned anyway, but even more so now. I'm telling you.
Oh, I believe you, Gio. Man, this is a damn sight better than Scarz looked in the start of their match against Talon just the other day. Like I said, they lost 3 attacks in a row, and then they looped back, doubled down, said, all right, we'll win 3 as revenge. Red Sun has had a very convenient timed crash, unfortunately. And, well, that'll give us a moment to breathe, and I think Xavier certainly need that. They're struggling to keep their head above water at the moment. Despite that round right there, that Dorm's attack being the only defense in which Xavier had found the opening kill. Didn't matter in the end.
Yeah, looks like they're going to give him that rehost so that Red Sun can be back and join us. But as you say, good. Xavier are really Xavier are really going to appreciate that, I think, because it will give them the time to just take a step back and have a talk about what's happening. We're still very early on in this game, but so far Scarz have held all the cards. They've controlled all of the pacing and everything in between. They just haven't seemed to appear to be pressured too much. They feel very comfortable.
100%. I love it. This is what I'm saying. Like, Scarz is just a completely new team compared to what we saw in Stage 1. In Stage 1, they looked miscoordinated. They had some individual players who were really struggling to hold their own. Revi, you mentioned already. I don't like to poke fun at people, but Revi really struggled. I think that's just straight up easy to say. He's a coach, filling in, not meant to be a player. He had the worst rating of any player in the entire of Stage 1 in APAC North. Quite frankly, a horrendous season. The only time he looked like he was, helping was when he was playing Monty for the team. Now, Scarz, they lost Revi. Well, rather, they put Revi back into coaching position. They brought on these new players, Nosferatu and Colbro, and Colbro's just rocking the Monty every round, and Scarz looking great on their attack.
I think what's also really interesting about this is, for those who aren't aware, Scarz have been looking for new players for months. They started holding trials basically around the time of, not quite as far back as SI, but I think it was towards the end of Pro League Season 11, if I remember correctly, which they won. They wanted to look for some more players. They really struggled. That's why they had to come into APAC North using their coach as a substitute, because they held their trials. They couldn't find anyone who they really wanted to join the team, and they just had to work with what they had. Now, seeing the way that they're playing with these 2 new players, it makes you wonder, what could the potential of Scarz have been back in Stage 1 had they have found these players back when they wanted to? They were working on a compromise before then. They did the best with what they had, and now they're in a much more solidified position. Is this the Scarz that we were always supposed to see?
Yeah, I think, look, if Scarz were running this team comp into the first stage, they probably wouldn't have ended up dead last. And if they can keep this up, yeah, like, they've had some bad games. Let's look at the 3 they've played so far. The only win they managed to get was against Talon. They lost out to Cyclops pretty handily. They lost out to Fav in the same manner. But Scarz, it looks like they might have some kind of revitalization compared to Stage 1. And they're certainly giving Xavier a run for their money at the moment. This is really poor stuff from Xavier. It's quite frustrating for a lot of Xavier fans out there. It's funny, I was actually talking to Jess actually before the show started today. What is this Xavier, this stage? Because they don't have quite the same panache that they did in Stage 1. In Stage 1, Xavier were just fearless. They had no respect. Even when they were playing the undefeated Giants, they were still jumping out of windows. They were still just running shotguns, doing their thing, playing the Xavier Siege. And it worked. But this time around, I mean, yeah, they have that to some degree. Credit to Red Sun, who's been getting a bit aggro, but it's just not working out for them to quite the same degree. And they are clearly getting picked apart by a much more methodical Scarz.
They're almost like the rogue of APAC. right now, where you had this team who were at the top of the standings in the regular season. They had a bit of a poor showing at the major, and they've come into the next stage not quite on top form like we would expect to see, and a lot of their game now is going to be bringing themselves back up to the same level that they were at before, rather than improving from where they already were, and that's a tough thing to face.
Yeah, it does make you a bit concerned for Xavier, right? We had quite high hopes for them when they made it through into the playoffs, into the major, I should say. And look, they actually handily took care of Fav 2-0 in their quarterfinal. They go into the semi-final. They were literally one round off of beating Giants. Like, they took that first map as well. So I don't know, Xavier, like, what happened? You guys had hit such great heights. You were just about first in Stage 2, undefeated. Sorry, Stage 1, Phase 2, the second half. Stage 2 has just not been your friend whatsoever. We had a lot of high hopes for them. Cloud9 dealt with them. Fav got their revenge as well here on Oregon. The only win being against Electrify. And Electrify are one of the teams that's struggling the most. They've only found 2 victories, or 3, I guess now after today, in the entire of the APAC North Division. Xavier, like, what's gone wrong?
Yeah, I mean, James, listen to this, right? So far, Xavier have come to defend kids' dorms twice. Now, historically, in the last few months, they have played that site 14 times, they have won it 11 times, and they've lost it 3 times. This is just defense that we're talking about. Meanwhile, when you look at Scarz on the attack, for that site, they have won it 4 times, and they have lost it 5 times. So Scarz have never gone positive on this site. The only site that they've attacked positively on is Meeting and Kitchen, which they have attacked once and won once. So this is massively out of character for both of these teams. This should, in theory, be Xavier's best site to defend, and they can't do it.
Yeah, and this game right here is just ruining all the stats right now, because that was such a good win rate for Xavier and quite a poor win rate for Scarz. That's all getting turned on its head. By the end of this game, you're going to be looking at a very different set of stats there once we've got a couple more results to add in. So I am quite scared here for Xavier. My question is, right, Scarz, they've got 3 attacks, yeah. What if Xavier bounced back to our win 3 on their defense? Is there even still a shot for Xavier, right? Like, I mean, yeah. Best case scenario, right? Xavier end this half even on their defense. We know that Oregon is defensive favored. I know, we don't like to just fall back on that all the time. Even with an APAC, though, that is the case. And I'm going to check the stats. 68% defensive win rate so far in Stage 2 out of 68 rounds. That's a very large sample size, guys. We've played a lot of Oregon. We've played a lot of Oregon. 68% defense is...
I think one of the big problems now is the fact that Scarz have absolutely no reason to change their attacking strategy because Xavier haven't proven they can deal with it. So you say, yeah, Xavier could turn things around, they could get the next 3 rounds, sure, but what leads us to believe that's going to happen? It's not like Scarz are going to suddenly change things up. They have absolutely no reason to do that when this Monty strategy with the Twitch has been working so well for them. Xavier have just got to learn to deal with it, and you can see them trying to do it at various points, and it's just not working. And what I find really interesting, actually, is when you have a look at the statistics and you see back when these 2 teams last played each other, which admittedly was on Clubhouse, so a very different type of map, but nonetheless, the players who showed up the most were DCH, who ended with a rating of 1.8, which is insane. He also had a cost of 90%, but that wasn't even the highest cost on the team. Scatman had a cost of 100%. This looks like different players.
Yeah. You mentioned that here, like, Xavier are the ones who need to change something. Scarz have got it down pat on their attacks. Xavier have tried, right? Firstly, they were like, dorms, okay, that didn't work out for us. They got flawless. Let's go down to laundry. That didn't work too much either. They tried a full turtle strategy, and Scarz had map control, picked them apart, brute force with the Monty down the hallway. Xavier were like, okay, let's go back to dorms, but this time, we're going to change things. Red Sun's going to play the Valk. He's going to play aggressive. We're going to have Napew flex onto the Mozzie instead of the smoke and lean into info denial, denying that Twitch drone. But it didn't matter. Like, you got Mozzie and Mute. Doesn't matter because they're just going to walk in with the Monty. You can't jam a Monty. That's info gathering right there for you. and you've moved the smoke over to Scatman, who's sacrificing the Ella, which in my view might have really helped a little bit with the Monty. I feel like Xavier's got to lean into two things, right? One, aggression. I think we know Xavier are good at it, right? Just lean into that aggression. Secondarily, have something to counter the Monty. Lean into that. If you can try and just give the Monty a big headache, chuck a goo mine in him, chuck gases at him, just do whatever you can. Yeah, that's one option, Scatman. Bring the clash. That'll zippy zap him away.
Was it, correct me if I'm wrong, was it the Xavier versus Giants game last stage where they played it on Clubhouse and it was just Monty versus Clash the whole time?
I don't believe so, because the Giants versus Xavier game that I recall was on Coastline, unless if they played twice.
I swear it was Xavier versus someone.
Well, I'll have a look.
It may not have been.
Well, they played Scarz on Clubhouse. Was it that one?
No, it was not that. It might have been someone else then. It might have been CAG versus Giants or something. I just remember there being some game where that happened. But if it wasn't Xavier, then it's totally redundant now. But Xavier now have the chance to do that for themselves. Shield versus Shield.
Yeah, well, might have been Cyclops. We know Cyclops like the shields. Let's have a look at this lineup, though. Almost the same. We got Nosferatu sticking the Hibana. Only change here is Cold. No. Demic on the... No. Where's the Twitch? 11. I can't see him. Zofia. There we go. I was like, there's no Twitch in this lineup, so something's not the same, but I couldn't find the player. There you go. So 11 is leaned into the Zofia instead of the Twitch. That's totally cool. Twitch has been kind of useless, I reckon, for Scarz, so why not bring more soft reach, bring an extra claymore, bring some concussions as well. On the Xavier side, yes, we saw that Clash 6 picked into by Scatman. Previously, he was on the Ella. Red Sun's taken that, so we don't have the Valk anymore, and we do have the Legion. It's the thing that I was hoping we would see, and, you know, bada bing, bada boom.
Is that official analysis?
That is official analysis.
I wanted to check, because I didn't know. We can see he's
Look
already...
at the number of ADSs that are stacked onto that trophy door.
Yeah,
you know, three
they
or
just...
two?
Two?
I think the idea here... Yeah, two of them by the looks of it. Yeah. The idea here, Scatman's going to give info to Red Sun, and Red Sun's going to play a swing-to-win game with the FO12. It's going to go, dug, 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 dug. And, yeah, I really hope it melts through people, because that is hilarious. I'm a bit of a sucker for the FO12.
Well, then it's your lucky day, and, it might be Demic's lucky day, as it seems like he's going to have an easier time opening up this wall than he did in that last round, where obviously we had Red Sun playing very aggressively forward on these pallets, but now he's going to see the Clash, who of course was a 6th pick, and it's a good job that they brought Sophia, because she should be able to deal with those. Yeah, very fortuitous.
A lot of good util here to deal with this this Clash. You got the flashbangs, 6 of them. Thanks Ash and Hibana, and you've got, of course, as you mentioned, the Zofia, which will concuss that Clash, get him back and knock the shield away. But we do see this shaping up to be a trophy push once again. Attic is just a bit of extra flavor there. Canos going to drone on through, but that drone will be swiftly taken out by the Dug of Red Sun. And, well, he's spotted there. Can that second ADS get burnt as well? Indeed, that's both ADSs burnt. But the gas follows through. 35 seconds left. This has been remarkably slow from Scarz, and Red Sun still here, ready and waiting.
Ooh, okay, in goes the nade. It narrowly misses Red Sun, but 11's in fact going to be the first one to go down. That means the lifelines aren't there, and the Monty gets pushed back. Backwards and forwards, as eventually a nade does land onto Red Sun, but really it's been Scarz who have lost out in this engagement. Just 2 remaining, make that 1. It's all onto Demic, and he has to take on 4 players. He can't even begin to start it. A great round there from Xavier, who just showed so much more strength and tenacity than they had before.
What a creative counter to that Monty. The idea is to throw the Grishma at the Monty's feet, forces the Monty off his shield. A lot of concussive effects in this game, they cancel whatever animation you're in. That's how the Zofia trick countering Bandit works. It's how we see concussions counter the diffuser disable. And what we saw just then is countering Monty's extended shield. It forces him to de-extend, by which point there's just a smack in the feet with the FO12 to take that Monty so low HP, the Clash can follow up, deal the rest of the damage, and despite 2 really nice nades from Demic through the floor to displace and actually kill that Ella, it really wasn't enough. It came a bit too late, and Scarz were completely picked apart.
Now, interestingly, we spoke about how Scarz had absolutely no reason to change up their attacking strategy because it was working so well. And now the second that it hasn't worked well and they've lost a round, they are changing up the attacking strategy. No longer is the Monty going to be brought, but instead a Nomad in his place.
You love to see it, don't you?
You do.
Particularly from Xavier. I love adaptations, and Xavier were smacking their head against that wall 3 rounds in a row. Scarz manhandled them. Xavier turn around, have a beautiful counter, works perfectly. So Scarz are thinking, okay, guys, so we got 3 free rounds off the Monty. Let's just chill out. We know we don't need it. It's not a crutch for us. We're not playing with Revy. We've got Cold Bro. He can flex onto the Nomad. No offense, Revy. Love you.
We love you as a coach, Revy. Just not a player.
Yeah.
It's cool. We would be terrible players too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one of us would be.
Well, I'm gonna go with both.
Okay, that's probably more accurate.
2:30.
That's a lobby hatch popped.
Yeah, I was gonna say already getting the lobby hatch going, and now it's time to work on the meeting hatch, but no one is nearby yet.
There's no sneaky breakies up on the T3 this time around. DCH chilling out on the stairs. Got someone on his camera as well. It's always nice as the attackers to just dispatch with that camera nice and early, suppress that aggression a little bit. DCH decides of his own accord to fall back, Scatman to get that info. He's a bit safer. He's got the shield in front of his face. But T2 now in control of the attackers. They don't have meeting. There's a nice spray from Canos. Scatman replies with a bit of a zap. Drone follows through. Sees the player retreating. Scatman tries to ping that out to the rest of his team. DCH trying to peek on through. Blue still firmly in control of the defenders as well.
That's obviously a really important part of the map to get control of as an attacker, because it really means that the defenders can't hold anywhere up on that north side. You can see they're making their work on the meeting hatch finally as we get to about halfway into the round, but obviously jumping down will be a struggle with the Clash still there on pillar. You heard one of the goo mines be set off. But so far, not too much of a deterrent, as 11 has to worry more about the Clash.
Despite a lack of a roam from Xavier, Scarz has just been so much slower. It's like they lack this confidence that they had when that Monte was on their side. I don't even know if they have blue control at this point. Flashes spammed down the hatch. What's that flank? Hello, Redson, where did you come from? He's going to take 2, and he'll run away with it. 45 seconds, and suddenly how the turns have tabled. Xavier.
You mentioned how they didn't have much of a roam, and then suddenly Red Sun decided, actually, yeah, I forgot about that. I'm gonna go deal with that right now. Despite the fact that Colbro is playing on the Nomad, that was still able to happen against Scarz, and that's going to be monumentally frustrating. As now only 3 of the team are remaining, and they still haven't been able to dispatch with the shield or take any HP away from any of the defenders. That's going to make it very hard, and Red Sun's going to add on to the kill count as he downs Canos. Now just the Maverick and the Nomad remain. There's another great one. Can this man not stay on site? No, he can't. Can he get it? Yes, he can. A fantastic ace from Red Sun, who seemed to be everywhere but the site, and it worked out so beautifully for Xavier.
Red Sun with the ace. What an absolute mad lad. Unstoppable is what he is. I think that was the phrase I used when he got that insane 1 versus 3 clutch against Cyclops in stage 1. And, well, it took him a little bit to warm up, but he's back into it. That's been 2 huge rounds from Red Sun. Honestly, I just wrote in my notes, like NSFW warning. I wrote in my notes, Red Sun, WTF, where you come from. Like, I have no idea where he came from just then. Honestly, I'm trying to watch back on the VOD. I see him come down from T2, but I don't know where he came from before that. Like, he must have rotated through Attic or something. That's just... I feel like Scarz would be as confused as I am.
He was a gift from God sent down from heaven. clearly having a PC crash was the answer for him. It unlocked
If only
him.
I knew that.
He got so mad. He was like, all right, screw these guys.
We are winning this game. I cannot accept going negative on our defensive half. And
Absolutely not.
well, what a flip. This is an absolute flip from when Scarz played Talon here. On their attack, they started things off. They struggled. 3 losses in a row against Talon, and we thought, okay, guys, come on. Talon's going to take this one. Should be a nice, convincing half. And then, well, Scarz returned 3 attacks of their own. When this game started, I was like, hey, Scarz looking really good. Last time, they lost 3 attacks in a row, only to come back. This time, they've started strong, so they'll probably finish strong, right? No, that's not how it works. Xavier are here. They're ready to adapt. Xavier have, put on their game pants. Red Sun, he's had a chance to, I don't know, get some energy drinks or whatever it is he does. I don't know, pants that are heavy duty for whatever needs arise, you know?
Alright.
You don't stop gaming for nothing, Gio.
I'll take your word for it. Maybe I should invest in some game pants. Maybe that's why I'm in
Yes.
gold 1. Alright, well. Either way, Scatman's going to be able to ping out one of the enemies who he knows is just above him. As he's, of course, present in dining. And that's, I don't know, maybe we'll see some Red Sun coming down from above to deal with that once again.
Oh, wouldn't put it past him. Red Sun, at the moment, thank you. Easy, showing us the legend himself. This is a beautiful run out. But does he get detected? He's got some info out here. Oh, that's a kind of a miffed Valk cam out there. Doesn't see a lot, but he's looking into the bus. Really common spot for attackers to sit is inside that bus, and there was one before. He goes for the bigger run out. But he doesn't find anything. I don't think he was detected, however. So Scarz, still a bit of work to do here. They're pinging out all these deployable shields. Utility removal simulator right now, but they've also got to remove Scatman, who's been zapping some damage onto Coldbro.
Obviously, the shields versus the shields, and with Canos above, he's going to try and deal in some damage. The smoke does push Coldbro back, and he's just going to wait for the rest of his team. And Shower's control obviously still hasn't been taken, as Onigiri is quite comfortable behind the shield here, placing yet more goo mines. There's a nade, I believe, that was coming in towards him, and that's going to ring through his ears, but he gets taken out by Canos as he gets Demic himself. A nice trade there for Scarz. This puts it in a 4 versus 4, but still Scatman is a problem that must be dealt with.
You know, on top of all that, Red Sun's still in a plant, denial position from above. Ooh, nice shot there. DCH goes down. That's White Hallway control. Nosferatu with his drone has confirmed that. Scatman pushed back with the concussion. So low HP, but they can't land a killing blow. And he's still dealing damage to this Monty, whose HP is lowering by the minute. Scarz, low HP on 3 players, but they have the numbers advantage. Xavier need to hold on here. And Red Sun's still upstairs.
And this could be it, but it can't! Oh, Canos catching him out perfectly. He had no idea that was going to happen. Scarz, if any opportunity is to plant it now, as Canos is just clearing up. And Nosferatu, he's going to go in. Nothing that Xavier can do at the end, and Scarz end up taking a 4-2 at the half, and certainly nothing to be concerned about.
Left, right, good night. Very nice round from Canos, a 4K total by the end of it. When the Clash is the only player remaining on the objective, or the only player remaining full stop, and he's so low HP, well, that's when there's cause for concern. As there is for Xavier right now, they may have found a resurgence with that nice strategy to counter the Monty on the Dorms defense, and then that ace from Red Sun. But Scarz, they've found their feet once again, got back up, bounced back, and they'll go downstairs to Laundry Supply Room. The first mirror of this matchup. Despite her being unbanned, Xavier opted not to bring her whatsoever.
What I also love about this is Xavier falling back onto something they feel very comfortable on, and that is Finka. She is a personal favorite of theirs.
So, what do you think of this strategy?
I think you should shut up. Get out of my cars. It was better when I was on my own.
I
hate
play
puns.
some sad songs, please. I know you do, but you're stuck with me, so.
Yeah, I really don't like them. They just irritate the hell out of me. And people hate me for it.
People hate you for the hate me for the puns, or hate you for hating puns?
No, they hate me for hating puns. They think I'm crazy.
Yeah, well, do you hate fun as well, Gio? Yeah,
Well,
you heard
now
it here
you
first,
ask.
guys. Gio hates fun. But look,
That's
this
why
is
I like
quite a
passing
fun
with
lineup.
you.
Oh wow, jeez, that's a burn. I need to get some ice. All right, Xavier, they like fun here. They got the Finker, they've got the Twitch. The kind of unorthodox lineup that we've come to expect. Funnily enough, no hard breach on Finker. She can bring hard breach now, secondary gadget, but instead they've opted to take the grenades. Onigiri can do some serious damage here with the LMG. We've seen it before, but there's not really a lot here from Xavier to address these mirror windows. You could attempt to use those Twitch drones, which we may well see later into the round. DCH throws one inside. Of course, there's also the Hibana, which can address those mirror windows head on, but the mute jammers may put a stop to that. Canos here trying to deal with those drones, but he's pushed back. The Finker boost goes out. That Twitch drone to disable the first Malusi, but I believe it was taken out in response, and there's the kill to capitalize.
There's an ouch Scatman who has been showing up very much so today. I think it's safe to say. Napew's actually going to be shoved backwards with Scatman on his own, and that's the perfect opportunity that Scarz needed to bring the diffuser down to the ground. Napew, he waits for the smoke to clear, but he knows there are two players on the elbow rotate. That's going to make his life particularly hard. He could remove the shield himself as he's playing Zafir, but can he get the kills? That's what's going to be so much harder. In goes the stun, down goes the shield. Now Nosferatu, with very low health, does have to back off somewhat, although he's not completely returning to sight. Well, no, actually, no, he is.
And the Rio goes up. Xavier are like, well, we'll let him have that one. Can't win everything. Drone goes fourth to help Napew. Ooh, that spray actually nearly took down Nosferatu. Minute 10 remaining, but Xavier may well get a bit eager here on the execute. Great peek, and now it's all for them to take this 4v3.
Oh, they were timing that one perfectly, and now everything is in Scarz's hands, or rather Xavier's hands, as they move in. They use the adrenal surge as they push on forward. Another kill for Napew. He knows there's someone waiting in freezer. He almost took the opportunity to reload. He doesn't quite get the kill, but they know that the player's in there. Down he finally goes, and now just Demic remaining. It's that one smoke. He's used so many of his toxic vape canisters. Does he even have any more? It doesn't matter. Xavier, get the round.
What is it with these multi-kill rounds? We've seen Red Sun cop an ace. We saw a crazy 4K just passed from Canos. Here, Napew gets what was a 3K, but I'm going to credit him and say he gets the 4K because he downed 11 the Malusi playing in freezer. A great round from Xavier. I'm really glad that they were able to capitalize on Canos' aggression, punish him for taking out that Twitch drone on the rear stairs. And that blue control was nice and early from Xavier as well. 1 minute 50 still on the clock, and they had control of blue despite that player in elbow. And admittedly, Demic was able to peek aggressively and take out one of those attackers, but eventually his position was dealt with. No Wamai, so it's just an ADS or a few ADSs that you've got to deal with. Xavier burnt through that, forced Scarz back, and took the round by storm. This is one of the things I love about watching APAC, is that you never know when the execute's going to happen. Like, teams don't just like wait until the last few minutes, and we've seen this from admittedly some teams in other regions, but it's particularly prevalent in APAC. They're just like, all right, guys, we've got the control we need. Pedal to the metal.
Now, obviously, Xavier have just lost 2 players. We'll obviously have to wait to see if they're going to get a rehost on that one. And if that isn't the case, then this is going to be a rather disappointing round for them. But let's focus on what went well. Oh, wow. I cannot speak today, though.
F in chat for the gaming house internet, by the way.
I know.
Feels
So
bad.
disappointing. Gotta check with the admins. Yeah, let's focus on what went well. And as you mentioned, so many multi-kills. It almost feels like on each round they say, right, this is your round. You know, you're the one who's going to do all the work this time. I think what was, I think it was really a big turning point in that last round. The fact that when Napew got forced back, When Napier got forced back into construction, he got separated out from the diffuser, the smokes came out. It really looked like it was a difficult situation for him because you had 2 defending players playing on elbow behind the shield still. Being able to turn that around and make that work for them and gain the control once again, pick up the diffuser, that was the big point there for Xavier, because had they not been able to do that, that would have been Scarz' round.
Yeah, and look, we're out at a 4-3 at the moment, so Scarz still leading, but hey, I reckon Xavier have got it in it to make this comeback. I'm not sure if it's going to be tough. I think it probably will be. We've only had a taste of Xavier's attack, and that was that one just there. And Scarz decided to reattempt that bomb site, going back to laundry, rather than changing things up, going to dorms, trying it out. We've even seen some teams favor dining or meeting, as it enables a bit more of a roam, and it can surprise the attackers a little bit more as a pick, but Scarz, they need to right some of their wrongs. From what I could see in that round before we rehosted, the only operator change was actually Demic, who switched onto the Ella instead of a smoke. Seems like a strange decision to me. Yes, you've got the mute already and the mirror for the shotgun, so you don't necessarily need to use that, but I thought that the smoke's utility was really impactful at slowing down that blue take. By the end of it, we saw when the defenders decided to reinforce over that elbow rotate hole, the gas was what enabled that. And yeah, we know Demic's a bit of a gamer on the smoke, so a bit surprised to see the Ella pick, but hey, we'll see.
Maybe he's a gamer on the Ella as well. I don't know. I mean, you obviously have to think about it from the perspective of are they expecting something else to be coming out from the attackers? Because obviously we mentioned earlier how the Ella was so useful against Monty, and that was something that Xavier brought out and used to their advantage. Maybe Scarz are thinking, I want a piece of that.
Yeah, could well be. I didn't manage to see whether he was rocking the FO12 like we saw from Red Sun earlier, but yeah, who knows. So I want to bring this back for a minute and talk about these teams as a whole, right? These guys are playing together today because in our Swiss system, you play teams that have won and lost the same number of matches to you in the same stage, right? So both of these teams are at 1 win, 2 losses thus far. This is the chance for one of them to break away. It's going to happen. We don't have draws here. Scarz, they're that team that we really didn't expect a lot of in Stage 2. We thought, look, here's a weak team, made some roster changes. Roster changes don't always help, at least not straight away, but for Scarz, that hasn't been the case. They're clearly the better team, but they're still kind of fuffled it against Cyclops just the other day. I don't know, do you reckon that Scarz can take it out of that bottom spot in the standings? Like, it's a hard road to get there, but they're currently sitting in the very bottom spot in APAC North League. I don't know if they're going to be able to escape relegations. And even if they do, I don't think that they're necessarily going to be able to qualify back in.
I think they have it in them to get out the bottom spot, but whether they get out the bottom 4 spots, which obviously in this region is the important part, that's a different question entirely. Because even when you look at the other teams who occupy it, I believe Nora Rango is still down there. Nora Rango are looking like they're...
Q Confirm, I think.
I think Q Confirm are in 8th, are they not?
I'm going to get up old trusty Wikipedia right now.
Yeah.
I'll tell
give it
you.
a cheeky check. But the point is Norango also down there with them. Norango have actually been looking pretty good. Talon are down there with them. Oh, it must be Talon, Nora, and Electrify.
It's Talon, yeah.
Yeah, Talon are down there with them. They've already beaten Talon. And Electrify, have they played Electrify this stage? No. Well, they will beat them.
Ooh. Big words.
Oh, yeah, crazy.
What's funny is Electrify's only 2 wins so far in, aside from their win just earlier tonight, Electrify's only 2 wins so far in APAC North Division against the 2 teams that are playing right now, Xavier and Scarz, both of which in overtime.
Different Scarz though.
It's true. And Scarz did go back and get their revenge against Electrify the second time they played. So I am with you, Scarz will probably defeat them.
Yeah, I think Scarz can beat them, but whether they can beat anybody outside of that, little bracket down in the bottom 4, I'm not convinced. I'm not sure. As for whether they can re-qualify to get in, it's a good question, because I don't know the answer. And we are obviously seeing a lot more talent surge up, especially in Korea. We've mentioned teams like GC Busan before, who have been doing very well in the Summer Korean Open. I don't think it's impossible for Scarz to get back in, but it won't be an easy challenge. It's, you know, they came first in Pro League Season 11 in Korea. That obviously led them straight in. I don't think it's going to be something like that again.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I actually think Scarz looks way better than last stage, which we've said multiple times over. But if you look at those other teams in the bottom 4, Nora, Electrify, Talon, Nora's definitely looking way better this stage. That's without a doubt. They actually won a match earlier tonight against my expectation, against the expectations of a few others. Electrify also won a match tonight. They are definitely looking better than last stage. But Talon, maybe not so much. Maybe don't have as much confidence in Talon as I did last stage. But yeah, Scarz, they might be getting better, but everyone seems to be. Like, all of those bottom teams are stepping it up. And so for Scarz, it's not just that they have to be better than they were last stage. Yeah, that's one thing, right? That's step one. You've got to be better than all the other teams right now. And you've got to be so much better that you can actually compensate for your lackluster performance in stage 1. Get into that 9th spot, get out of those bottom 4. Sorry, no, it was 8th spot, right? Which would be the first non-relegation spot. And currently that's occupied by Q-Confirm, who's had mixed results. So I don't have a lot of confidence in Scarz. They definitely have to start overcompensating for what happened last stage.
Basically, the differential of your improvement has to be greater than the differential of all of your enemies' improvements, if you want to put it in mathematical terms.
Thank you, Ms. Physicist. You'd be the physics teacher, right? At this
I would rather not be a teacher. I wouldn't want to be a teacher. Oh yeah, what was it they were talking about if the EU and APAC casters were teachers? And someone said I would be a graphic design teacher. I didn't even know that was a subject you could take in school.
You draw stuff, though.
Right, yeah. I also cast video games. I didn't take the video game casting lesson in school. And if someone told me they studied that in school, I'd say you're lying.
Well, I think it's funny that I was designated IT, despite not having any IT qualifications whatsoever. All I do is know how to make spreadsheets, all right, guys? I can take a class on spreadsheets.
I would so obviously be the physics teacher, or at least chemistry. Come on, just give me a science, a real subject, please.
A real subject,
upset a lot of people.
Really?
It's going to upset a lot of people.
Wow, yeah. Ouch. All those graphic design teachers who watch Rainbow Six Siege are going to be damn upset right now. Sure. You're going to have some angry mentions to you at the end of this cast.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a really big sub-community.
Yeah, well, I'll take music. That's not a real subject, right? I can.
But you can't sing. I'm joking. That was really mean. You're gonna challenge me, and I'm gonna start singing, and
our viewership is gonna go to 0 really fast. But
right, you said
be careful what you wish for.
Usually, so here's a PSA for everyone in the chat. We're obviously still waiting for these players to come in. We've got most of them in the lobby, but Xavier obviously been having connection issues. So bear with us while we talk about all this random stuff. But one thing that I feel like a lot of people should know is typically when the desk opens up on a broadcast and you see Milos laughing, maybe the analysts are having a chuckle too. It's because Dev has been singing right up until the very second that we go live. Either that or Hap is singing The Future Is Now and going doo, doo, doo.
That's my jam, yo. The future is now.
But it's like everybody's like doing drunk karaoke and no one can sing it in tune. And then it just sets Milos off.
Yeah, he loves it.
Every day.
He froths it. That's why we keep doing it, Joe. I'm here to please. Speaking of Xavier, they will be here to please once they get in the lobby. One more player, guys. We're almost there. It's the good old Thai gaming house issues. But hey, to remind you, we are playing video games right now. We are playing Scarz versus Xavier on Omega Lolarigan. And it's currently 4-3, an advantage to Scarz. They took 3 really strong attacks at the start of their attacking half. Xavier bit back for 2. Scarz took the advantage again to end their attacking half 4-2, which is a surprising advantage coming out from, in my opinion, the underdogs in this matchup, Scarz. And also subverting expectations and having an attacker-sided Oregon thus far. So despite losing their first defense when Xavier attacked Laundry Supply, Scarz are still in a very strong position to take this.
Yeah, and you know, Scarz obviously, as you say, They missed out on successfully defending their first defensive round, but we still have plenty of rounds to go. Obviously, they are 3 away from taking the entire thing. And you never know, it's APAC. It could go to overtime. We haven't had an overtime game yet today, so there's always room. Just like we didn't have any draws in EU yesterday.
Don't remind me. Don't remind me. I went 5 draws on my predictions. I thought, today is the day, guys. We can do this. I'm gonna get 5 out of 5 predictions. Well, maybe not 5 out of 5, but at least one of them's gonna be a draw, right? These are all close games. How wrong I was. It was all these one-sided matches. But hey, I'm sure that we'll be back for some close games on Friday for Challenger League as well, right? We had some hot matches. We had some stomps, and we had some close games last Friday. That was a lot of fun. So if you're watching right now and you're like, wow, I really enjoy watching Rainbow Six Siege. Wow, I really enjoy these beautiful blonde people talking crap all night. You should tune in every night, because we're casting here every single night, every day of the week. It's great. You guys should come hang out with us.
I can't get away with being a beautiful blonde person at the moment, because look at this.
That's true. That's true. Well, one beautiful blonde person and their sidekick.
What? I'm not your sidekick?
Really?
I'm older than you. I can't be your sidekick.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm your
it's never in the law that like Robin is younger than Batman, right?
You know, sure.
I'm Batman.
No.
All right, sorry.
You are like the personification of a noodle. You're not Batman. I've seen, like, we haven't met, but I've seen photographs of you, especially photos at the end of various events where all the talent are at the desk and like everyone's tired, but they have like the really adorable photo.
You don't actually see my whole face. You just see up to here because I'm out of frame.
That's like just hangs above everybody else. Just kind of,
at least I'm not 8 feet tall like you, mate.
No, I don't even know where that came from.
Me neither, but it seems to annoy you, so it's good enough for me.
It's more just that so many people, independent of one another, ask me the same question. You look really tall, how tall are you? And then Chowder started turning it into a thing where he would cut pictures of me in half and compare the length of my legs to the rest of my body, and I just feel like a museum exhibit now.
That's creepy. People cutting up pictures of other people. That's creepy.
That's Chowder.
Hey, you know what? Production. Any chance we've got any replays from the? Ah, there's my dog. Yes, that's Beard. Hello. Hey, production. Any chance we've got any replays from the match so far? Perhaps Red Sun's ace. It would be bloody jolly good if we could check some of those out. Thank you very much. Merci.
What was that?
I was trying to do like a dog voice, like, you know, like a Donald
Duck. Or
like
a weird transatlantic 1920s accent? Is that how Bear talks?
Gio, get off my back. Get off my back. Here we go. Let's check out some of these replays, guys. So this is from right at the start of the match. Scarz, remember, they took 3 rounds in a row, but Onigiri was a bit of a gamer. And Canos went huge as well in some of these rounds too.
Yeah, I'm actually really hoping that they'll show the... Was it Red Sun who just appeared from nowhere at one point? Yes. And this is when he was playing really aggressively in Attic. He managed to get 1, and it was Canos, I think, yeah. Bye, Canos. Ha! Imagine not having an Ash. Ha! Alright, that wasn't very funny. But,
here it is.
Yeah, there were he just jumped out of nowhere! Like, where the hell was he?
I think he definitely came down from tier 2. Oh, look, he even shot a Nomad air jab. You mentioned Cold Bro was playing the air jab, or the Nomad this round. Like, where was that?
The air jab.
Yeah, it was definitely, Red Sun was the one playing the air jab. I love that. Absolutely beautiful. Canos also had a huge round there. He took out Red Sun, who was the X factor on that dining defense. Like I was saying, this has been a game of multi-kill rounds. Beautiful ace, beautiful 4K from Canos. We saw a lovely 4K, effectively 4K from Napew. Just, damn good pew-pew moments.
Which is always what you want, but now we're ready to have some more to have good pew-pew moments as finally we return, and I'm sure the players on Xavier who've been having their connection issues are feeling exactly the same. Once again, obviously, they have to come in and set things up, the exact same in terms of the site they want to go to, the operators they pick. That's why we saw Ella get 6 pick. That's exactly what happened last time. And so everything is all ready and prepared to be the same, and you can be done listening to mine and Dev's, I don't know,
shenanigans.
That's not the word I thought you were going to say, but I'm glad you did.
I like to subvert expectations, Gio, and, well, Xavier have done the same here. To my disappointment, Onigiri has decided to take Ash instead of Finka. Now, I do like to see a bit of Finka, but I'm gonna be satisfied here with the Ash. Ash can go pew-pew just as good, but it gives us a little bit less time to just see the little... I love seeing the little health bars go up, and then you're like, oh yeah, this is where it hits the fan.
Is that what gets your motor running?
It is, quite literally.
Seeing a good health bar go up. Oh!
I do love a good health bar boost. But, hey, Kanos had a good couple multi-kill rounds. We mentioned that earlier on his attack, but his aggression was shut down the previous time Scarz defended this bomb site. If you recall, he was trying to shoot those Twitch drones on the rear stairs. Was cut off from blue. Let's see how efficiently Xavier can take control of blue in this round.
I'm also really intrigued by DCH playing Twitch. As I mentioned earlier, last time these two teams played together, DCH was the standout player, and we know that you put a decent gun in his hands, and that man can pew. Obviously carrying the F2s. Kanos has moved back down into pillar, and that's going to be a lot of damage there onto Demic. So actually they'll be reinforcing that off earlier than they did in the last round.
Yeah, wow. 2 minutes still on the clock, and Xavier have full control of blue. Remarkable efficiency. Thanks to that Wamai ban, it's quite easy to clear the shield, and they did a heck of a lot of damage to Demic in the meanwhile. Fortunately, as you mentioned, that reinforcement to come through. Xavier has lots of hard breach, though. Between the Maverick and the Hibana, they could open up holes, not only into electrical as they are now, but also into the elbow. Wow, this is just so much control for Xavier. My question is, does Scarz have a roam? Because I think a flank is the only way they can claw this back. Even if they had on-point Plantinal, Xavier just has so much time right now to execute.
Oh, it looks like they do, as Kanos is making his way through meeting. He's just checking that no one's around, but they are. Red Sun gets a beautiful shot onto him to ensure that that flank can't be made, and now Xavier will be feeling all the more confident about this control that they have acquired, setting themselves up for this next part of the push. With a minute remaining, you say they had so much time, and they still do, to go up against Scarz, who desperately want to pour onto the vestiges of their defense.
What an impeccable position for Xavier to find themselves in. 50 seconds remaining. Numbers advantage. All the positional advantage they could ever hope for. But they want more, so Napew's going to rotate down the freezer stairs. My worry here is that Xavier's running out of time. They need to make this execute happen. The jig is up for Napew. A player watching his angle. He does a lot of damage, but Red Sun opens things up. 30 seconds, and this is when Xavier makes it happen.
Scatman's going down with the plant, and so things are getting very desperate here with 2 players remaining. Or Scarz make that one. Nosferatu! He won't be able to stop things on his own. Xavier take another attacking round.
I love to see that. The efficiency with which Xavier gets control of the map and their reliability of flank watch is certainly booning them a huge advantage in this match thus far. Doesn't matter if there is Platinal, as I had alluded to in the mid-round there, which really felt like the late round. A minute 30, Xavier had just about everything they wanted. They decided, hey, look, why not? Let's go for Freezer as well. Maybe that didn't make a huge impact, but it certainly helped. And even though Scarz had that good Plantinal, the takedown at Diffuser Planter at the end of the round, it didn't matter by the end of it. Scarz left reeling. They'll have to change up their bomb site choice to try and dig their teeth into this game.
I think this is a really good decision from Scarz, because obviously it didn't work out for them twice in a row, and they don't want to let their lead slip, because obviously they no longer obtain it, or they no longer own it, rather. They want to obtain it, once again. So they've decided to come all the way back upstairs. And I mentioned how well Xavier were doing at defending it historically, but if we have a look at their attack onto this site, they've won it 7 times and they've lost it 8 times. So this is actually a lot weaker for Xavier to attack than it is for them to defend. But we saw how those statistics got flipped in the last half, and so maybe that could happen again.
Good drone hunting here from Coldbro. I'm not sure if he took out both of those drones that have gone astray for Xavier, but certainly got that second one. I like this. Putting a Valkyrie black eye camera. It'll watch both games and the big window sight. Now, it is exposed to a lot of angles, can be taken out, but it's good sight information, especially as Scarz are definitely leaning into this vertical hold. Lots of good holes in the floor to deny that plan late round, as well as 2 C4s in amongst Canos and Cold Brew, with 11 down there to support.
And now it's time for Xavier to make their way in. So, as we say, they've had a weaker history on the attack here. And I like, of course, that Scarz have decided to implement this roam. It's something that didn't work out for them last time, as I believe it was Canos who tried to make the late flank. Didn't work out. He got caught out by Red Sun. But him and 11 are both off site. So all the more of a threat, and the X-Kairos immediately will be heading in onto the games room wall.
What is the denial from Scarz? Non-existent. Great repel there from Onigiri on the game's window ensures no one is in a position to impact Trick and Xavier. Well, they haven't taken Attic, but that's okay because Red Sun's on the window and DCH has actually droned him in. You might not realize this at the moment, but Xavier could just jump into Attic. They've got full control. This will once again come down to that Plantanar from Xavier, but with the time efficiency we see from Xavier, I don't think Scarz will be able to win this round, even if they have on-point Plantanar.
Certainly the risk of playing with 2 players off-site, and of course Canos, because he can hold the C4, maybe that's more viable, but 11 on the Jaeger doesn't have that option for the plant denial. Onigiri is downstairs, and he's going to send in a drone as he just takes refuge in Classroom. He could find himself getting caught out, but he could also find himself winning out whichever engagements come his way. Red Sun, of course, has taken control of Attic. I mean, Scarz are very much pushed up towards kids and dorms, but it's going to be Canos opening things up. Onigiri, that player downstairs is gone, and now Scatman can go in for the plant. Are Scarz brave enough to move in forward? Canos is actually heading back closer to the site as he's in no position to deny, and so the plant goes down. Kills coming in from Scarz, but they're still in this post-plant situation, and the players from Xavier could still have a chance. There's only 2 of them left remaining, and things very much look in Scarz's favor, but it could turn. Red Sun, he's low health. He brought down Nosferatu, he brings down a second, but he can't get a third. Cold Bro, he's going to be going in for the disable. Everything is on to Napew. Can he stop it? Can he? No! It could have been in his hands. Xavier had so much control for so much of that round, but they lost it. And Scarz take it for themselves.
That's a crazy round right there. Xavier took so much map control so efficiently. With 50 seconds left on the clock, they run inside and force that plant down. The vertical potential was there. Their players downstairs, but Scarz didn't have the info on where the diffuser was going down, so they didn't deny it vertically. It didn't matter in the end. They established themselves an early man advantage in that post-plant scenario, taking down Onigiri, the Ash. And from then on, well, it was just a retake, pick for pick for pick. They found themselves in a 5 versus 2 post-plant, and Red Sun, he had a good position in Attic, but it wasn't good enough. And you can see how timid Napew was as well on low HP, trying to clutch that out. Ended up concussing himself by accident as well, which certainly didn't help. By the end of it, a 1 versus 1, Scarz did manage to pull off the retake. Now that's a second win that they can take into reattempting this laundry supply defense for the 3rd time, with a bit extra confidence on their side from that defense just won. See whether they can make things a bit better here.
Scarz evidently don't feel comfortable going to either of the kitchen sites. And they feel very strongly about making sure that they take the laundry and supply site, and quite rightly, I would say. Obviously, it feels a bit like they're hitting their head against a wall, but it is the only site that they've been able to successfully defend more times than they've lost. So they probably feel quite strongly that this should be the one that they can do very well. They brought the mirror this time, and probably going for something a bit different.
Actually, a couple of changed operators, which is strange to me. Like, the mirror was present last time, the smoke was present last time, the Malusi was present, Jaeger was present, Mute is the only... No, Mute was here too. Like, literally the exact same lineup as they had on the first defense of this bomb site, but it's changed who's playing what. And that's the thing that confuses me. Like, we're seeing Demek and Canos have actually switched around the smoke and Jaeger, quite contrasting operators and roles, right? You typically expect... Oh, wow.
That was easy.
2 ADSs. That is huge. And Demek's gone down. Oh, no. Nosferatu's gone down. Okay. This round's got a timer on it, and it's gone the way of Xavier.
Yeah, that's a big ouch. I mean, the last round, we saw that it was Xavier who were left with 2 players while Scarz was standing strong, and this time round, it feels like it's almost entirely the opposite. Canos is still throwing out the Toxic Babe canisters as he hides behind the mirror window, but you can see all of the drones coming in from Xavier because they know they have plenty of time. They know they have control of blue and pillars. Onigiri moves forward, and I say they have control because while Canos can still, in theory, go through the rotate or shoot through the soft wall, Scarz have such a disadvantage here that all Xavier would need to do is send in 2 players to be able to deal with it. Canos is going to get ballsy in his endeavor, but decides to retreat as he throws in that final smoke and shoot some of the drones coming in.
Through. What is this play for Scarz? So much info for Xavier. It's just a matter of time. Canos trying to play the mirror window, but polished off. Onigiri, I believe a 4K on the round. The only kill that he didn't manage to get was that team kill. And, well, Gio, that was pretty embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah. And now you just wonder, are Scarz going to try it again? No. Good. Good.
Kitchen dining. Give it a crack.
This is, I think, feel free to check because this is anecdotal. I think this is the least played site in APAC on this map. Whereas in EU, I'm pretty sure they prefer dining over meeting, but in APAC they prefer meeting over dining. Feel free to tell me I'm wrong.
You are correct for stage 1. You are incorrect for stage 2. Yeah, we actually saw in stage 2 thus far, dining's been picked over twice as much as meeting. And has a significantly better win rate. Meeting is sitting at 40%, kitchen dining at 64%, which is almost as much as Dorm's kids at 68.
Oh, wow. That's just 4%
Funnily enough,
difference.
kitchen dining actually had the highest win rate on Oregon in stage 1 of APAC North League. But keep in mind, it was only played 5 times. 80% win rate, so won 4 out of 5 times.
Well, that's wild. Well, there you go. You just got schooled, and so did I. I think it's good.
Maybe I should be the spreadsheet teacher after all.
The spreadsheet teacher? Is that a lesson you took?
No, certainly not. I have a thing called Google, and it teaches me everything.
Yeah, I just hate spreadsheets, so I can't be bothered to even go that far.
It's alright, no one can be flawless.
Right. I think it's good that Scarz are going for something fresh because, just like everyone else, they also can't be flawless. And they have had a very flawed half so far.
One thing I've really liked out of Xavier is the Twitch play. It was something that Scarz also teased with 3 rounds. Funnily, 3 out of the 4 that they won, they brought the Twitch. But ECH has been really impactful with the gadget. Just that round pass, he took out 2 ADSs really early round. You can see he's checking for traps, he's checking for ADSs, he's checking for players, and he can clear out a lot of util using that shock drone.
Run on through. There's another drone that's going to catch Canos out. So they know he's present in kids. Xavier have sent, you know, obviously we did see DCH had been sent up this way. But there are quite a few players from Scarz who are on this top floor just looking to defend it from above.
It's a good Twitch drone. Cobra gets aggressive. The concussion comes through. He doesn't land the shots there. There is a refrag though. Canos holding on for dear life, but 11, the player to flank up and take his teammate's position. Was fragged out. DCH doing good work. 4 versus 3 now. But Xavier still don't have this full control. Canos safely holding on to the kid's bedroom for dear life.
Now, the thing is, we saw Xavier subvert what it was Scarz had set up on their defense before when Scarz decided to play very much off-site. Are they going to be doing this again? Obviously, there's a lot more of a risk of having that vertical denial, but not if you just delete the player upstairs, as Onigiri is doing. He's going to meet death himself, though, as Nosferatu turns things around. But the constant trades mean that actually Xavier find themselves very much on the front foot. Demic does deny that plant, but he's still all on his own. There are no drones, I believe, on the side of Xavier. Wow, Red Sun very nearly met his demise. Demic still sat at full health.
No way.
While DCH goes in for the plant. Can he deny it a second time, especially if he misses out, but he gets caught in security. Another round for Xavier, and they get ever closer to taking this series.
Match point has eluded them for such a long time, but Xavier, they put themselves on the round to win it. It was a close one. They started off very strongly. And one thing I love about watching this team is they don't do what most teams do. They decided to forego a small tower attack. What's super typical and what we saw from Scarz when it was Xavier defending kitchen dining. Scarz just focused really heavily on defending, or rather attacking, the small tower, push through, take down lockers control, move up. Execute into dining. That's kind of the standard, very much meta attack that we see. Xavier, they completely forego that, and they instead decided to focus on taking control of dorms. But once they actually won the trades up there, they got 2 players and lost 1. They knew that there was still the Jaeger sitting inside kids' dorms, but instead of hard pushing them, trying to force into that choke, probably to lose another player, they decided to keep poking and prodding from the meeting hall side, from the hallway outside kitchen to the north side, and they managed to actually take out that player vertically. And then from then on, it was just Onigiri enters into sight, gets taken out, but the trade comes through, eventually trades back and forth. Xavier have a significant numbers advantage, so it's pretty easy. And now we return to dorms. The only bomb site Scarz has managed to win on their defense. And they need to make it a second time to take us to OT.
They're going to be certainly thanking themselves that they have this site available to them, as it could be their greatest chance of taking things into overtime, as obviously Xavier have had a pretty good attacking half so far, having taken 4 out of the 5 rounds that have been played. The question is Scarz going to play this same play style that they have been doing so far, where they have the 2 players off site, where sometimes those resources have been wasted because they don't meet any engagement until the late round? That was vile.
Onigiri has been nuts today. Really stepping up. Shame we don't have the pre-rehost stats, but he's 6-3 at the moment in the last few rounds. Xavier have already changed their attacking setup. Remember the previous time around, they went heavily in for a master take in through trophy. They also had Red Sun solo addict since there was no one in there. And they were actually in a position to execute with 50 seconds remaining on the clock in a 5v5, but they lost on the post plant. So it was narrow margin that got Scarz their first defensive win. And well, they're already on the back foot here on their second attempt of dorms.
Onigiri is still outside, and he's going to take the opportunity to send in the drone, as Kanos actually saw himself get threatened with the hole opened above him in security. So that's going to give him another angle to watch out for. Onigiri obviously knows there are players downstairs, but it's going to be 11, the next one to fall at the hands of Nay Pew. Pew, 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 pew from Kanos. Also brings down his enemy in Onigiri. That means Scarz still maintains so much control around the map, but not if he's going to be taken down immediately. They've told Red Sun and Onigiri to sit back and relax, because this round is for Napew.
Ooh, and there's the concussion to come through. The trade out, and Demic goes down, all on Nosferatu. Basically no HP to his name. Xavier should have this in the bag.
Nosferatu is so low. Xavier have perfect amount of time to bring Scatman back into the game. They're lacking in drones, but I don't think they're going to need it. They know where Nosferatu is. They stun him out. They don't even need to begin on the plant. A perfectly relaxed way of ending the series for Xavier. Scarz, who were looking so strong earlier on, couldn't pull it back on their defense, and Xavier take the win.
A match that certainly started with a bang. It looked like Xavier were the team to win it. 3 straight attacks and a strong first half, but they couldn't hold it out on their defense. And Xavier regained the momentum, took the game by 2 hands, shook it until it gave them exactly what they wanted. A great win for the tie at the end of the day, 7-5, and a great comeback as well.
Yeah, you know, they had their issues at the beginning, they had the connection problems, but it seemed to just do nothing but give them extra power. I think it's fair to say that Scarz fought valiantly, and we've seen the improvements, but today, it just wasn't enough. Let's send it on over to the analyst and our beautiful Milos to take us through the game before the end of the day.
Thank you so much, guys. Yes, back on the analyst desk, Jess.